On this episode of the Turnbuckle, WWE Day 1 has been canceled. Tony Khan has been advised to get, quote, his head out of the sand. Baron Corbin is undergoing an edgy character change, and Charlie Haas has his fans worried after he no-showed an event and is now gone missing. Folks, it's time to hit an Omega driver into some wrestling news because it's time for the Turnbuckle. According to a report from WrestleNomics, the event is not expected to be rebranded, and WWE currently does not have a PLE listed for Between Survivor Series. Between Survivor Series on November 26th and Royal Rumble on January 28th. The event was scheduled to take place on January 1st from the State Farm Arena in Atlanta, Georgia for the second straight year. Brian Alvarez reported that there will be, quote, big changes coming to their PLE schedule for next year with likely more international events and less gimmick shows. Our own Dave Meltzer addressed the issue on Sunday. Brandon Thurston reported Day 1 has been canceled. There were conflicts with major football games in Atlanta on December 31st and January 1st. We'd been told a few weeks ago it could be moved, but Thurston reported no pay-per-views between Survivor Series and Rumble. WWE hasn't confirmed, Meltzer wrote. Tickets had not been put on sale yet. They were scheduled to be put on sale September 23rd. We had asked WWE about this past week and gotten no answer. It was reported in the October 3rd edition of Wrestling Observer newsletter. Help, I'm dying that changes to the Day 1 pay-per-view could be forthcoming. A decision will be made this week regarding the date of the Day 1 pay-per-view show. Right now, the show is scheduled for January 1st at the State Farm Arena in Atlanta. There is talk that it could be changed, and the announcement would be made next week if that's the case. Although we were told either way, it would remain at the building. Also, as of right now, Lesnar is scheduled on that show, which is the next U.S. show that he's being listed for. So, I mean, if you're a Lesnar right now, you've got to be thinking to yourself, well, great, less work for me to do. Okay, so now that hearing that they're like, all right, we're going to do less gimmick shows, right? And we're going to focus a little bit more on some more international shows, right? Likely more international events and less gimmick shows. That explains everything. And also, this is why, you have to be careful when you do stuff like this, because I talk about this all the time. It sets a precedent for the rest of the time that you do it, because what happens if it can't fall on the first day of the year? You know what I mean? Then it's not WWE Day 1, So where do I even begin? I don't know where to go with this, because it's I feel like even when it happened, I was like, why are we getting another pay-per-view? When it happened, it wasn't really, the other issue too, they don't do anything with the rings anymore. The arenas don't look different at all. There's nothing special to the arenas. Like fucking Backlash 05 and what was it, Extreme Rules 2012 or something, the Over the Limit, set, all the sets, they looked really creative and personal, and it felt like you were at a pay-per-view. Am I the only one who doesn't feel like they're at a pay-per-view anymore? It feels like they're just at Monday Night Raw. You know what it feels like? It feels like they're just at Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, and it's like AEW. It's not an actual pay-per-view. It's just a really special night that just so happens to be on a Sunday. That's it. None of the sets look really decent, right? It's the same exact, and I know why they're doing it. It's to save on money and time, so they don't have to spend so much, and they don't have to take so much time building a special set and all that. And then when they go and they do the show, literally the next day, they don't have to worry about taking anything down, and then they can just immediately start the show up. But it's not special anymore. It's just not. The only thing that they really go out of the way for is the WrestleMania set, and that's it. And that's only because everybody's gonna be there, and it's this really special event. It's the only way to get WWE in the mainstream. So we gotta put a really big pirate ship on top of everything. We gotta put a big roller coaster behind it all and a globe for some reason. It's just stupid, man. I just think it's really it's not lazy. It's not. It's efficient. They're being efficient. And I just wish that they would just be a little bit more creative for me. Hey, come on, WWE, geez. So yeah, I highly doubt that there's, and I don't think there needs to be anyway, if I'm being totally honest. I don't think there needs to be a pay-per-view. I don't think there needs to be 1,000,001 different pay-per-views. I don't think you have to have a pay-per-view every month. You don't have to. If you want to, sure, go ahead. But, you could have You can have pay-per-view, and then no pay-per-view, and then pay-per-view. Like, you can do that. I mean, I don't know. That's up to you, really. So, I mean, other than that, I doubt that they're going to bring day one back. I really doubt that they're going to, I doubt that they're going to put another pay-per-view in its way. You know, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't think, again, you don't need one. Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, that's a perfect build. You can easily do that. I don't really see an issue with that. So, yeah, man, I really don't think that they're going to come up with another pay-per-view. And shout out to day one, all right? Pour one out for day one. It lasted literally one day, and that was it. Next, we're going to talk about Tony Khan and how he's advised to get his head out of the sand. So, it's time to talk about it, all right? Recently, when I say recently, I mean pretty much yesterday, one of my videos is making the rounds on YouTube. I assume YouTube was like, YouTube like slid into the algorithm, was like that one, and then like rose down and like you know, and picked it up and then it like shook it. I have no idea, but YouTube was like him, you know, and suddenly one of my videos is now getting like a lot of views, and I got 2 comments and they were both like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" You know. So for those of you who don't know, Tony Khan had an interview with Ariel Helwani, and he didn't answer any questions that Ariel Helwani threw at him. And at the time of recording that episode, I didn't watch the interview. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because when I I did read the clip, and then I watched the clip. When I watched the clip, right, I figured as though that the clip was enough context to give. I really didn't think that it went as far. I didn't think it went any farther than that. And if we're going to be honest here, considering I watched the video, it didn't go any farther, to be fairly honest with you. I got maybe a bit more context, and that was it. I still stand by what I say, that Tony Khan is not answering the questions for legal reasons. But oh God, this is going to take forever, and I don't want to take so much time to look for it, but you know what? I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna go to the video and I'm going to go to the comment section, and I want to give I want to give a shout out to Face Jobby, because we had a discussion yesterday in the comment section. And by discussion, I mean actual discussion, all right? And that's what, okay? I want to give a shout out to my demographic, okay? You're not a bunch of fucking children, all right? So you're not just going to call me a fat-headed dumb fuck, okay? You're actually going to sit down and actually have a decent conversation with me, okay? Nobody called me names. I didn't call anybody names. It was a very cordial and what's the word? Polite discussion that we had. And he pretty much, oh no, it wasn't even him. Oh shit. Well, no, shouts out to Face Jobby. Oh God, now I have to go all the way back. Okay. There was another person that I spoke to, right? I spoke to Face Jobby more than I did to my man. Hold on, who's my man? Get the hell out of here. Move. I spoke to Kyle Tucker. Shout out to Kyle Tucker. He said, your logic is flawed here, because if that's the case, he just has to say that. All he has to do is say, I can't comment on all that due to ongoing legal matters. That's it, really. I mean, there's really no ifs, ands, there's no more to say about that. And to be honest with you, that really shut me down, because I was like, he's right. He's absolutely right. Why didn't he just say, hey, this is a legal thing that I can't discuss, and I can't speak on it, you know? Now, listen, I watched the entire interview, and I understand where Ariel is coming from, right? I understand where Ariel is coming from. In the sense that, you couldn't even ask him how you were feeling? You couldn't at least give him that? You couldn't be like, hey, I can't talk about it. However, I'm not feeling good. You know? You can tell people how you're feeling, Tony. It's not a crime to tell people your emotions. I don't think you have to sign an NDA for your emotions. I don't think you need to do that. And I don't know, man. So, Tony Khan has been advised to get, quote, his head out of the sand. While speaking on his podcast, former WCW star Conan talked about the situation and advised Tony Khan to get his head out of the sand. Conan said, I think what Tony's problem is, he's got to get his head out of the sand. He's too busy hoping nobody talks bad about them. The honeymoon period is over, bro. At the beginning, you were new. You were hiring all these people. It was a fresh product, but, you can't go around with rose-colored glasses. This is a cutthroat business, and you got a lot of immature people in your business. You got a lot of toxic people in your dressing room. They were mad at me because I had wrestlers tell me, hey, you shouldn't have said what you said. Well, I wasn't wrong, and Tony didn't like it. There's a problem in the dressing room. I wasn't wrong. Address it. I don't think it does any good for you to go out there and say no comment. What's it gonna hurt you to say, well, I don't think what Punk said he should have said, but what could I do? He said it, or whatever. But, no comment. I can't comment. I'm sorry, my friend. I can't comment. It's also like these guys that go in front of Congress and they're like, I can't remember, and plead the fifth. Then what the fuck did you come here for if you can't remember? Why'd you do the interview with Ariel Helwani? You should have known he was. I swear to God, I said that. I swear to God. In that episode, I said, Tony, you should have known that he was going to ask those questions. You should have known that already. That should have been the first thing on your mind is, the first thing somebody is going to talk to me about is the whole CM Punk, Kenny Omega thing. Also, apparently they didn't wish him happy birthday. That's another thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, I don't want to get in legal trouble. You can't wish him happy birthday? What did they throw a birthday cake at him? I don't understand here. Someone help me. Even if it looks bad that people go back to WWE, big deal. It's better to take the toxicity out than keep it in there. Either that, or you're just going to have to sit a lot of people home and not let them in the locker room. It's not a good look, dude. You're the head of the company. Man up. I like Tony, but I don't got to keep saying that all the time. That's beside the point. He's right. He's 100% right. Again, I stand by what I say in the whole thing about how it's got to be some sort of legal action, right? That is barring him from saying some of the stuff. But at the same time, right? You can't just like zip it, lock it, and put it in your pocket. You can't do that. You have to be willing to play ball with him. You got to be willing to scratch my back and I'll scratch yours. I don't understand the idea of going on to the interview and going, I can't answer that. I can't answer that. Nope, I can't answer that. No, I can't talk about that. It's an interview. Do you know what an interview is? You ask questions and then you answer them. I don't understand why you go on the interview and then go, nope, can't say that. Nope, can't talk about that. Nope, can we talk about something else? Yeah, man. If you saw the interview, by the way, and if you didn't, I don't know. I'm not going to blame you. Ariel was like, come on, man. You can't talk to me about that. You can't. Ariel was like, bro, you're not answering any of my questions. And Tony was like, I am answering your questions. It's like, well, you are, but like, you're not. You know what I mean? You're like, a lot of the comments were saying that he was talking in circles. Oh, man, I know a bit too much about that. Listen, Tony, I had to work on that, okay? And even then, I still struggle with talking in circles sometimes. Oh, boy. So, all in all, I think that I'm going to keep saying it, okay? I'm going to keep hammering this into your head. I think that Tony's doing it for a reason. But I think he's taking it to an extent that it doesn't need to be taken to. I think that Tony is worried that if he says anything, if he alludes to anything, if he speaks too much on anything, someone's gonna. Okay, here's my thing. I think that he's worried that someone's gonna take it and then spin it. I think that is the best. That is the best, not excuse. That is the best theory I can come up with. He's worried that somebody listening to him is gonna like chop it or something. You know when they like deep fake or whatever, or they like take a soundbite or something. He's really worried that somebody's gonna do that to him and then like spin it, or like they're gonna put it in like the wrong context or something. So he's like, all right, if I say absolute, because I understand, right? I get it. Ariel Helwani was like, oh, how do you feel? So Tony doesn't want to be like, oh, CM Punk, he's a butthead, and then somebody like goes on to like some dirt sheet and is like, oh, Tony Khan said that Tony Khan wants CM Punk to die, like he's worried that that's going to happen. But Conan's got a point. It doesn't help, right? It doesn't help you. It doesn't help the company, right? He's right about the whole roast, because he was like, he was talking to Ariel Helwani before. That was when that was the interview. I'm fucking dumb, man, because he was talking about the book. And he was like, yeah, everything's going great and everything's fine. And it's like, it's not though, is it? It's not fine. And I don't know why you're pretending like it is. Because I swear I was talking about it last time. Like, you shouldn't be saying that. If it's not fine and you're saying that it's fine, you're coming off as like, you're just oblivious to everything that's going on, Hey, man. So, all in all, I don't even want to make it seem like I'm coming out here and be like, look at me, I was right. I was perfectly fine with being wrong. I just don't want, here's the deal. I don't want people to think that like, I go out of my way to not look at stuff, and then I like base, the thing where you read the article, the headline of the article, and then you're like, right? And then you don't read the entire article, and it's not entirely what the headline is about. The headline is just talking about like one thing. I just don't want people to think that I'm a dunce cap. Well, you listen, I'm going to be a dunce cap, right? But I don't want people to think that I'm deliberately going out of my way to be, like, uneducated about the things that are going on around me, you know? I want people to know that, like, hey, sometimes I'm going to say something stupid, but I will back up and take back what I said if I'm, like, wrong or, like, something else comes out. You know what I mean? That's why I'm always happy whenever, like, a report comes out and then another report comes out and says, no, that's wrong, you know? So at the end of the day, I think that Tony Khan needs to address the things that are going on, and I think that he is addressing it, but I think that he's doing it himself behind closed doors in private. But when he goes out and people talk to him and he goes on interviews, he makes it seem like everything's okay, and I don't think that's the best thing for him to do. Next, we're going to talk about Baron Corbin and how he's undergoing an edgy character change. During an interview on the Johnny Dare morning show, Baron Corbin was candid about his thoughts on working under Triple H. Baron Corbin credited Triple H, I get it. Calling him Triple, like, I understand, but that's, like, weird to call someone Triple for much of his character during his NXT days, and stated that Triple H was looking to add more edge to his character. Baron said he's a guy who, when I came into NXT, he was a guy who really grabbed onto me and helped me develop and create who I was. My first entrance, he brought that whole motorcycle vibe, that drudgy rock music where I walked in and I had spotlights over my head. That was all his vision. It's cool to have him back because he has now kind of taken what I've been doing and going, how do we put more edge back on you? How do we make you a little more badass again? That feels good to have that. A month ago on SmackDown, Baron Corbin lost a match to Shinsuke Nakamura. Following the loss, Baron Corbin was approached by a white limo backstage. A voice that sounded like JBL then asked Baron Corbin to get in the limo, which he did. It seems like this was done so that Baron Corbin could be brought back with a new gimmick. Also, so I was originally going to talk about JBL, but then I saw that Baron Corbin is undergoing an edgy character, and it has to do with JBL. So I think what's going to happen is Baron Corbin and JBL are going to come back together, and they're both going to have like a little, like JBL's going to be like his manager and that sort of stuff, and they're going to do that. So this is about the equivalent. I think Elias is coming back, by the way, tonight, if I remember correctly. I think this is the equivalent of them waiting for like him to, I guess, like grow something, I guess, because that's the only reason why he would be gone so long, you know? So I think they're waiting for him to like change his body in a way, like with Elias and his facial hair. I think they're just giving him time so that when he comes back, he looks completely different, you know? So I mean, I don't really know what else to say about this, because really we have to wait and see, because it sounds like JBL, I don't know, because he pulled up in a limo, you know? So it sounds like he's still got like the shithead stockbroker gimmick type deal, right? And it would feel weird to put that gimmick on Baron Corbin, especially since the article is talking about him being like a more edgy, you know? So maybe he's just going to be edgy, and then JBL is just going to be like, yep, that's right, I poured all my money into this guy, you know? So we'll really just have to wait and see we're going to have to wait and see what Baron Corbin looks like and what he's going to act like when he comes back. Finally, I'm going to bring it down to a pretty serious note, unfortunately. According to the Facebook page for the All-Star Wrestling Australia promotion, former WWE/Impact wrestler Charlie Haas has missed some events in Australia. They made the announcement and then provided an update. The social media team made the 8-hour travel north for events in Casino and Evans Head today and were unable to get access to a computer until now. After unsuccessful attempts by their team and Charlie's management to contact him yesterday, they learned that Charlie Haas, who was supposed to be present at their events on October 14th, 15th, and 16th, had not arrived at his planned arrival time. They were all truly concerned for Charlie's welfare. Good afternoon. First of all, we here at All-Star Wrestling Australia apologize about the lack of news in regards to the Charlie Haas situation. Our team, including social media team, have been making the 8-hour travel north for events in Casino and Evans Head today and have been unable to get access to a computer until now. Yesterday, we were disappointed to find out that Charlie Haas, who was scheduled to appear at our October 14, 15, and 16 events, did not arrive at his scheduled arrival time. Attempts to reach Charlie by our team and his management were not successful. We all were genuinely concerned about Charlie's well-being. We attempted to contact flight agencies, airlines, and even had a member of our staff waiting at the airport for Charlie for over 2 hours. We and his management still don't know the full story, but what we do know is that Charlie did not board his flight to Australia and did not attempt to at any point. We apologize to the fans who came out to see Charlie and didn't get to see him. We will be refunding those who purchased individual meet and greet tickets next week. While Charlie's management are still unsure of the full circumstances, they do know that Charlie did not board his flight to Australia and did not make any attempt to do so. All-Star Wrestling Australia made attempts to contact flight agencies. Okay, they're just repeating everything. All right, so I forget who. I think it was somebody else. It was someone in NJPW who did this, and they went missing, and I think they got found. Not recently. I'm saying it. They got found like a short time later. You know. Here's hoping, right, that Charlie Haas is okay. Here's hoping that he's safe and he's sound and he's in good spirits. You know, like I listen. Considering the fact that he's gone missing and he did not take his flight, I doubt that he's in a good mood, right? But I'm hoping that when they find him, he's at least in like a neutral mood and he's got a level head. You know, I don't want to hear that he's like, you know, he's abusing substances and that sort of thing. And I don't want to hear about that. I hope that he's okay. I hope his family knows where he is. I hope somebody, at the time of this recording, I hope somebody has gotten in contact with him. I just wanted to let everybody know in case they weren't aware that Charlie Haas was no showing events and he was missing. So I just wanted to update everybody on what was going on. And I don't know much about Charlie Haas, but that doesn't mean that I don't want him to be safe. And I don't want those who are in Charlie Haas's circle, you know, to find him and see if he's okay. So here's hoping that Charlie Haas is all right and he's safe and he's fine. And they find him sooner rather than later. They find him fucking lickety split, okay? And he's perfectly fine. Here's hoping that Charlie Haas is like, I saw a really cool balloon and I just had to follow it. What do you want from me, okay? I thought it was neat, okay? Sue me. Lord, I got all this nonsense going on. I can't follow a balloon. Leave me alone. Even though you missed the show for 3 days. Never mind. I don't think you should have done that. Anyway, again, hopefully he's safe and he's sound and he's well, all right? What do we talk about? WWE Day 1 is canceled. I mean, all right. You know, fine. I'm not really going to sit here and be like, oh no, I don't really care. I didn't like the way it looked. I don't like the way the sets look anyway, because that's the first thing I thought of. Like, oh, Day 1, it's a new pay-per-view. Okay, but it looks exactly the same as all the other ones. So who cares? Gosh, all you have to do is just fucking code, and then it's the Extreme Rules backdrop, and then code. It's the Survivor Series backdrop. It's nothing different. Who cares? Tony Khan needs to get his head out of the sand. He's right. Again, it's got to be a legal reason for why he's not saying stuff, but come on, Tony. For the love of Lord, the least you can do is answer some questions. Baron Corbin is undergoing an edgy character change. We're going to have to wait and see what that is and what that means for his future. And Charlie Haas is worried fans because he's gone missing and he no-showed a couple events. I hope he's well. I hope he's okay. I hope he's safe. I hope somebody's with him. And I hope nothing bad happened to him. Folks, that's going to do it for this episode of The Turnbuckle. I want to give a shout out to everybody who stopped by. Hopefully everybody has a wonderful tonight and a wonderful tomorrow. As always, big hugs all around.